Okay, so this is Chuck with Electric Scooter Guide, and you're watching Scooter Live Chat, episode 2. Today we're gonna go over news. So there's some news to share with you. Then we have questions that we've collected over the previous week, which I think will be interesting because they're all questions from people like you that have submitted either through our Instagram or YouTube. Or our Facebook group, which is basically just for asking questions. And then finally, at the end, we've got a new scooter. It's the one behind me here, and I'm going to show you about that scooter. It might just be the best scooter in the kind of like one step up from the Xiaomi M365. That's kind of your base level scooter. A lot of people ask, what's the next scooter to get after that scooter? And it might just be the New Horizon by Fluid Freeride. So I'll talk about that at the end. So just a couple news items. Oh, and then if you have questions during this kind of live stream, go ahead and type those in to the comments here on Instagram or YouTube, and I will get to them at the end as best as I can. So we'll just get into the news. So last week we announced the Cabo Wolf Warrior Reddit giveaway. That was generously donated by Fluid Freeride and Cabo, not Cabo, Cabo. And we are, I believe that is now closed. It ran for 7 days. It's now closed. And you know, I think that, we're going to work with Fluid Freerides to pick a winner. But I'm pretty excited because that's such a great scooter. Next thing is Boosted. The Boosted Rev started shipping. We got the first view of the Boosted Rev on Reddit. I think yesterday someone posted they just got theirs. So that's cool. I've ridden it a little bit and I can kind of share my thoughts, which I'll do later because there were some questions about that. Also, I'm waiting on a interview from the CEO and CTO, so that should be scheduled, I'm hoping, next week. And if you have questions for them, always shoot those over here. All right, so kind of moving on. So the first question we got was, I think, through the website, which is, and I'm just kind of reading these off of the screen here. That's why I keep looking over. What is the best scooter for crowded public transportation? So there's 3 scooters that I'll highlight for public transportation. One is the Glion Dolly, which is actually made from a guy that actually took the BART here in the Bay Area. It is a scooter that is, kind of the special feature on it is that it comes with dolly wheels and a fold-out handle. So you can actually roll that thing around, which is pretty sweet. Just making sure I'm still live here. Oh, man. Sorry. Shoot, I think my video may be stopped on YouTube. Darn it. Son of a gun. Well, hold out handle so you can. Okay, sorry. Hopefully the YouTube is still going. I'm not sure. I think it may have stopped. Yeah. Son of a gun. Sorry. We're going to try restarting the YouTube. I'm not sure what's going on with the YouTube stream. All right, we're back on YouTube again. Sorry about that for the folks on YouTube. Okay, so best scooter for public transportation, Glion Dolly. It's got dolly wheels, and it's a fold-out handle, so you can just like wheel it all around on the BART or any public transportation. It's super, super narrow, so you can, so it basically kind of fits right where you are, and that is fantastic. The downside of that scooter is that it has solid wheels and no suspension, so it's basically the most harsh ride that I've ever felt on an electric scooter. It's not a pleasure to ride, but if you have a good, good kind of roads, and you are, and you're not too far, you could check that scooter out. It's on Amazon, and we have one. We're just finishing up some more testing on it. Another scooter to look at would be the 08, just because it is heavier than the Gleon Dolly, but it's super portable in that it folds really small. The handlebars collapse, the stem collapses into itself and it folds, and the total length of that is only 98 centimeters, so it's like really, really, really small, which is great. And then finally, another one to check out is the Unagi. So the Unagi Model 1, that company and their CEO, David, are dead set on having the best scooter at the lowest weight. And so that scooter comes single motor or dual motor. It's either 22 pounds or 24 pounds. And it's got a real thin kind of stem. So it's good for smaller people to pick up and carry. The handlebars don't fold, but it's got a really nice stem lock on there. And it's nice to ride. It's pretty good performance, and it looks fantastic. So check those out as far as your best kind of like super tight quarters commuting scooter. Next question, best scooters for someone who weighs 200. So this is a question. Sometimes people say, give me all the stats that they want and ask me to recommend what the best scooter is for them. So for someone that weighs 240 or more pounds, has 45 miles of range, the scooter weighs no more than 75 pounds, and the price range is $1,000 to $2,000. So basically what I do when that happens is I go to the comparison chart that's on the electric scooter guide. You can just go electric-scooter.guide and just go to the comparison chart, and you can pop all those stats in there and just see what comes out. There's about 8 or 10 scooters that come out, and I'll kind of highlight 3 of them from low, medium, high price. At the low price, you've got the emove Cruiser, which is $13.99, but we have a 7% off coupon code right now, which brings the price just under $1,300. It's got a 600 watt motor, so it's not extremely fast. It's well tuned. I have a super long review on that scooter on YouTube, so just check the YouTube channel for Electric Scooter Guide, and you'll find about a 10-minute long review. It's a fantastic scooter, and the next version that's coming out is going to have hydraulic brakes instead of regular brakes. It's got dual disc brakes, but they're going to be hydraulic. They're switching to an LG battery. They're going more waterproofing. And what's the other upgrade? There's another upgrade, I forget. So that's pretty cool. In the mid-range, you got the Joyor Y10. It's a 500 watt motor, so it's not super fast, and it's $1,526. It sells out of Spain, but they do ship to the United States. They do have some decent service. You know what? My YouTube video froze again. Damn it. This is a pain in the butt. I don't know why this keeps happening. Okay, so and then finally at the real high end of the level, you've got the 010X, which with our coupon code, so if you type in coupon code electric-scooter.guide on revrides.com if you're in the US. If you're outside of the US, check out Falcon PEV, which is based in Singapore, but they ship internationally. They sell all the Zero scooters. The 010X is a beast. It's dual motor, dual 1,000 watts, so 2,000 watt nominal power. The suspension is probably the best suspension I've ever felt. It's like you're riding on a cloud. And it's amazing. It comes out to about $1,888 after the 10% off that you can get with our coupon code. So check those out if those are the stats for you. Okay, next question. This is from someone else. This person says, I like the Ninebot Max, but scared of having a drum brake in the front. Is it going to topple over? Is that much worse than a disc brake? What about the 220-pound max rider weight? And how does it compare with the 09? So it's a lot of questions about the Ninebot Max. Ninebot Max, if you don't know, it's a scooter that is on Indiegogo right now. It's been on Indiegogo for a long time. They supposedly ran out and then said, we're doing another 45 days. So, that's that. And it's kind of the new, it's like the younger cousin of the Xiaomi M365, which is one of the best scooters out there, especially at that price range. There's really nothing that beats it at $400. So speaking about the Ninebot Max, so first thing was the brake. People are really worried about the brake being a drum brake and being in the front. And so they're worried about getting, pushed over, or with the kind of heavier scooter weight, is it going to stop well? So I rode the scooter around San Francisco. I tested it on flat and I tested it on really steep downhill. On flat, I was able to stop in 1.6 seconds, which is actually really, really good for an electric scooter. The drum brake was able to lock out, so I kind of like skidded a little bit to a stop, but 1.6 seconds is pretty darn good. On a downhill, that was like the real question. How does this thing stop on downhill? On downhill, it actually didn't lock out the tires, which I'm happy about, because locking out the front tire, could be a little bit dangerous. So it didn't actually lock out the front tire, even though I slammed the brakes hard as I could, going about 15, 16 miles an hour. The brake didn't lock out. It just kind of slowed to a halt. So I think it's got some kind of EABS in there. It didn't go like that. It was a smooth kind of slowdown. So it was great, actually. I thought it was quite good. What about the scooter weight at 220 pounds? That's not scooter weight, the max rider weight. I know it says 220 pounds on the Indiegogo website. So here's the deal with that scooter. It is made for that. Why does this keep stopping? Okay, it is made, so the Ninebot Max is kind of made for the sharing market. And as such, it can hold a lot more than 220 pounds, okay? Now, like, don't sue me if you're on it and you weigh 350 pounds and like something happens, or, it's just that you're gonna get the best performance at 220 pounds. If you're more than that, you can still ride it. It's built for sharing. So these things have to be super durable, and this scooter is super durable. And then finally, the last question is, how is it different from the 09? It's really different from the 09. The 09 is extremely portable. It's about 100 centimeters long. So the dimensions of the scooter, right? The Ninebot Max is a big, giant scooter, which makes it hard for the portability factor. It's 117 centimeters. And so at 117 centimeters, it's a little bit hard to fit in your car. And when you have an electric scooter, that's one of the huge benefits, is that you can actually slip it into a car, an Uber, underneath your seat at a restaurant, under your seat on a train or on the subway, things like that. The Ninebot Max is going to be harder to do that. The handlebars don't fold. The stem, of course, folds, but the folded dimension is 117 centimeters long and it's 47 centimeters wide. Compare that to the 09, which is, I think it's around $900, right? So a little bit more than the Ninebot Max. It's actually 100 centimeters long and only 20 centimeters wide. So they both weigh about the same, but one of them will fit into a much tighter package than the other one. The other big difference is our durability. Ninebot Max should probably take the cake in terms of durability. There's less moving parts, there's less folding and whatnot. But performance-wise, the 09 is going to be a lot better. It's got a 600 watt motor versus a 350 watt motor of the Ninebot Max. Top speed on the Ninebot Max, like going to be, they say 18.6. I was able to get it around, 18 or so miles an hour. The 09 is going to go like 25 to 28 miles per hour. So that is a pretty big kind of difference. Somebody tested the Ninebot Max and got about 25, 26 miles. It's not 40 miles, even though it says it's 40 miles. There's no way it's going to be 40 miles. The 09 should be somewhere around 20 miles. We need to finally do a range test, but we did a range test on the 08, which is the same as the scooter behind me, the Horizon, and we got 26 miles, which is fantastic. Okay, next question. How is the new emove Cruiser? It looks like it has tubeless pneumatic tires and hydraulic brakes and LG batteries. Okay, so I talked about that in the beginning of this video for news. Hey, Paolo. So yes, it has tubeless pneumatic. It's got some hydraulic brakes. We have last year's emove Cruiser. It's one of my favorite scooters for long range commute because it's just so darn comfortable. The stem lock is fantastic. That original emove Cruiser is the same as the Speedway 4. But now Voro Motors, again, check out our website. We have a coupon code for Voro Motors. It's going to get you 7% off of the, I think, $1,400 price tag. That scooter is, what is the deal here? Man, sorry, stupid YouTube keeps stopping. So yes, it has all those new features. The tubeless pneumatic I'm super excited about because flats are the reason why people don't like pneumatic tires. we love pneumatic tires because, well, I ride all the time. I've only gotten 2 flats ever. Pneumatic tires are better for performance, for safety, for comfort, for all those things. They're just a better tire. And to go tubeless means you're going to get less flats, which is really the only reason to get a solid tire is because you won't get as many flats. So with tubeless pneumatic, you're going to take a lot of the flats out of your potential, the potential for flats. It's going to go lower. For any tire, you can use tire slime, which we always recommend. We have a link on our website. Just go to our website, type in slime. You'll find our favorite slime out there. It's like $10 for a big old bottle of it. You squeeze like 3 or 4 ounces in your tire, spin it around, pump it back up, and you'll be on your way after you get a flat. Like it's kind of like magic. So anyway, we're waiting. So for the new emove cruiser, I think we're gonna have the new one. I want to swap out our old one for the new one because we have our old one in a storage unit. And so I want to get the new one in and test that out. All right, so next question. What is going on with Segway customer support? I can't get a hold of them. And then kind of a joint question with that is, can you discuss, this is different people, but can you discuss scooter brands with the best maintenance or service access? Okay, so first of all, support is really, really important for electric scooter market because it's new, because these are new devices, because we're in the first or second generations. It's actually not all scooters, even out of the box, come working well. A lot of times there's like little problems, or it'll be stuck in cruise control mode, and you don't want a scooter in cruise control mode, and maybe the instructions don't have any way to get it out of there, and you're getting a scooter with not a lot of community support. There's a lot of reasons right now to buy a scooter from a seller that's reputable, that has a phone number, an email, something like that. The other option is going with a scooter that has a big community of support. And right now, the biggest community supports are going to be for the Dualtron scooters and for the Xiaomi M365, and to a lesser extent, the Segway ES models. But mainly, the biggest communities, Dualtron and Xiaomi. So definitely have a scooter with support. I get emails, I can't tell you, it pains me to get these emails from people who have bought scooters. They're asking me for, how do you adjust the suspension arm on the Dualtron Spider, right? I just got an email today that said that. I can't, I'm not the tech support. I help with buying and stuff like that. And if I have tech support stuff I can send to people, I'll do it, right? But the people that sell you the scooter should be helping you with those things. And so I asked, where did you get the scooter? And of course, it was someone on AliExpress. It's not that it was a bad seller. It's just you don't get any support when you buy something from most vendors on AliExpress. They're there. They may or may not have the same scooter that you're getting, but compared to Amazon, you don't have a lot of guarantees. It probably comes from China, so if you want to ship it back because it's dead on arrival or something, it's not going to be as easy. So I can't say every seller is bad on AliExpress, but just be careful. Excuse me. The YouTube stream I'm not doing YouTube anymore. This is stupid. Okay. And then the last thing I want to share is we're doing some work because we know that not all brands are created equal. We're doing a little bit of work, and we have a new feature coming out on our website shortly that will go over what are the best brands and the way the best brands that you can actually buy from. And the way we're kind of ranking them is, do they have a website? Do they have a phone number? Do they have an email? What's their warranty? Do they sell replacement parts, especially like motors, and it's really especially wheels? And so we've got all that data now. We haven't posted it yet, but the one thing that I have just finished doing is an email response time, right? So this goes back to the Segway one, right? We tested Segway. We tested like 40 something different brands. There is if you go to our YouTube video right now, kind of towards the bottom, there's a link that says email support response times. There's a graph in there, and it shows from lowest to highest in terms of hours, how long it took these companies to get back to me. And by me, I mean an anonymous email account that I was pretending to use. So check that out. Voro Motors was actually #1. They responded in literally 3 minutes to this fake account that I have. So they didn't know it was me. Segway, so to answer the question about Segway, they did respond it took 7 days and 2 minutes. So they literally responded a week and 2 minutes after my email. So I did get a response. It took a week. So there you go. So there you have it. Okay, next question. I was looking into the Segway ES4. It's about $750 because of the longer battery and higher top speed. But now thinking it's better to get pneumatic tires. What do you think? Okay. So I like Segway. Segway makes the Xiaomi, right? And I really like the Xiaomi. I don't like the Segways. I don't like the Segway ES1, ES2, or ES4. The ride is harsh. It does have suspension and it does have the hardest solid tires I've ever felt. The ride is like you go over little cracks in the road and it just makes a super loud clanging noise that just makes it feel really hollow and cheap, and it's not comfortable. I can't recommend that scooter at all. So for solid tires, we already talked about getting flats versus no flats. I get it. You want to have no flats. Use tire slime, use tire liners, or get a tubeless pneumatic tire, okay? Overall, pneumatic is better because yes, like maybe once or twice a year you'll get a flat, but the rest of the time you're not going to be slipping. And when I mean slipping when you lock out like the back tire, and the back tire is solid on a lot of scooters, that back tire is sliding, right? Or if you're going over a metal grate, don't know what's going on with Sparko Cam. If you're going over a metal grate, it's gonna slip, right? Or in the middle of the sidewalk when you're going to cross the street, you have those like yellow things with the bumps. You'll slide over those with a scooter with solid tires. And don't even think about taking it out in the rain. Okay, at that same price range, just to finish the question, at $750, I would look at the Xiaomi M365 regular or Pro, or the next step up that I'll talk about is the 08 or Horizon scooter, the same scooter, which I'm going to show at the end of this video. Yeah, so next question, I was going to get a Xiaomi M365, but wondering if there's anything better in the $600 to $700 price range. So under $700, not really. The small battery Zero or small battery Horizon is kind of the next step up to the Xiaomi. It's, you know, if you get the beefy Horizon, it's going to be in the neighborhood of, you know, $799-ish. But here's what you get. You get a faster scooter. It's going to be 24 miles an hour versus the Xiaomi's tops out around like 16. The range. So we did the range test. So what they say, don't listen to what they say for range test, right? Because they're doing range in like some craziest ways, right? Going 9 miles an hour, which nobody does. So we have our own range test that we test on the same test track here in California. We tested the Xiaomi, it got 14.6 miles. We tested the Horizon, literally it got 26 miles. So that was actually over what the manufacturer said it was going to get, which is kind of crazy. So you get longer range with that. Of course, the 08/Horizon is heavier, but it's way more portable, right? Because it folds way, way, way smaller. And you get dual suspension with those scooters versus the Xiaomi. Finally, the one thing the Xiaomi has over those is that the rear tire on the Horizon is solid, not pneumatic. Whereas with the Xiaomi M365, you get dual pneumatic tires. Next question, can you do a review of the Ryan scooter? Okay, so the Ryan scooter is like this racer scooter. It's over at the Last Mile SF if you want to go check that out and you live in the Bay Area. Alien Rides does a fantastic job of like, you know, showing these off and racing them, and like he's got a lot of awesome FPV videos on scooters. So maybe we'll have to like make a video together or something, but basically I will get to that scooter. We just have a huge backlog right now of scooters to test. Next question. When is the WePed GT50E coming out? So this is the next kind of like hardcore awesome scooter. It's probably going to be low $3,000 price range. But the build quality on that scooter, I've ridden it and I've kind of seen some of the parts for it. They're doing a lot of great things with the controllers, with the body construction, the way it's created. it's going to be a kind of a next step up. Let me pause 1 second, and I'm gonna restart. No, sorry, this Barco cam is like giving me lots of issues here today. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm never gonna do this to you again. Okay, well, we're back on YouTube. Thanks for the hearts. Okay, so the GT50E is going to come out in the next few weeks. So we have a review up. We don't have the actual scooter. It's not yet quite for sale. When it is, we'll make an announcement on that scooter, but it is going to be awesome. Stopping time, we tested the stopping time on that. So super cool. Okay. Next question, did I make a mistake ordering the boosted rev? Okay, so boosted rev. I don't think so. I think the boosted rev is going to be a good scooter. Yeah, it's expensive. It's $1,600. Is the build quality going to be really good? It is really good. I've ridden the scooter just briefly. I don't have my demo unit yet. I'm hoping to get, they promised an interview with their CEO and CTO when I get my unit for testing. Can't wait for that to happen. I need the scooter for at least a few days to give it a thorough test. Of course, we're going to do all the performance testing on it, and I'll be able to really look at it. The downsides of it is that it doesn't have suspension, although it does have 9-inch pneumatic tubeless tires, which is great. It does have a low deck height. I think it's less than 2 inches. So coming off curbs, if you're going slow, it's going to be a little bit of an issue, especially if you're going slow, because then you don't want to get stuck on the curb as you're going. At 46 pounds, people are thinking it's a little heavy for what you get. I don't know. I think it's great build quality. Also, 45 pounds is like about what me as a 165-pound male can carry easily, right? When I had the emove cruiser, I live upstairs, and so at 55 pounds, I found myself not using that quite as much. With the scooters that are like 45 pounds and less, I actually don't mind the carrying them up a flight of stairs. And if it's a good scooter, I would use it. So there you have, I don't know. It's, everybody has their weight limit. I recommend just going to, the sporting goods store, picking up a kettlebell or whatnot, and seeing what weight you can kind of safely deal with. The top speed, 24 miles an hour top speed on that thing. Again, that is their decision. And along with the weight, I don't think it's a bad decision. The reason being is that when you're going through traffic, 25 miles an hour is fine. It's fast enough. Most scooters are limited to like 15, 16. 25 is like cooking. And going 30 plus is a little scary. Don't recommend it if you're next to cars or not on like a real, just like big, amount of like runway, okay? And then the 22-mile range. So again, there are, of course, all these specs. Scooters have better range than the 22 miles. And that's what they say, right? The 22 miles. Once we figure out what the battery is what, like how that runs, we'll know a little bit more. I'm restarting my Barco cam. This is just getting ridiculous at this point. I'm re-plugging in. Sorry, Instagram. Please. All right, let's hope this works. Okay. All right. So now we are. So we've got through all the Q&A from the past week. If you have a question for you want answered, go to the Facebook group. The Facebook group is linked through all of our social media. You can find it. Just go on our website. Go on the YouTube channel, wherever. Hey from Portugal. It's great to see everybody kind of logging in here. I see a lot of conversation going on the YouTube. It's fantastic. But if you want to go on the Facebook group, so we have a page, but the group, if you go on there and you ask a question just in the form of a post, I'll answer it within 24 hours. I will try my best, and I usually do. Unless it's the weekend, then I probably won't. But you can also not only get my responses, but you will get the community to give you responses of people that have probably ridden this scooter maybe more than I have. So it's nice to have a bunch of people give you answers. So when you have questions, just go to the Facebook group, ask to be a member. Unless you're a jerk, I'll approve you, and you know, we can chat in there, okay? And then maybe your question will get you know, I'll talk about it live the next week on Tuesday. So that's that. All right, so let's move on to live questions, and then at the end of the video, we will I'll show off the New Horizon scooter. I'll tell you a little bit about that, although I kind of already have. So first one, Danny on YouTube asks, what is the scooter with the best range? All right. So range, the scooter with the best range right now, you know, it's not the Ninebot Max, okay? The Ninebot Max says 40 miles, not the Ninebot Max. We have a list. So when you say range, there's two ways to count range. One way is looking at what the manufacturer says. That's not going to be accurate unless you're the Horizon for whatever reason. That is accurate. It's the only one though. The range, what we do is we take the scooters on a test ride through Berkeley here. We have a test track. We do it on the same test track, the same time of day, similar wind conditions. It includes a lot of starts and stops, and it's got a bad road. It's got uphills, downhills. Like it's a realistic commute. And so far, the scooter with the longest range is actually the Cabo Wolf Warrior. Of the scooters that we've tested, it said 44 miles. Our GPS tracker, we use the Race Logic equipment now. It got 40 miles, 40.4, something like that. Where can you find this information is probably the most important thing, because we are testing scooters like twice a week right now. And I personally do the range test, which I don't like to do those because it's just exhausting to ride for 2 or 3 hours straight. The Cabo Wolf Warrior actually was not that bad to ride for that long because it's so comfortable with the like super good dual fork suspension and the rear spring suspension and the big giant pneumatic tires is great. Got a little over 40 miles. Second place was actually the emove Cruiser with 34.9 miles, I think. But the best way to go to check that information is look at the review. But if you look at the performance data page, and to get to that page, it's probably linked in the YouTube video. But if you go to the Electric Scooter Guide website, which is electric-scooter.guide, you can, this thing freeze again. It did freeze. Okay, you can go to the Electric Scooter Guide website, just click on comparisons. The very second link says performance, or on the homepage, I think it's linked in right now. At the very bottom of that page, we list all the scooters that we've done a range test on, okay? If you wanna know what they think is the longest range, just go to our comparison page and just sort by range. That's it. And it'll list you what the manufacturer says for 120 scooters. So that's the best way to do that. Okay, next question. Smooth the Boss 27 on Instagram asks, do you know any website that sells scooter accessories? Everything is always sold out on Rev Rides. Yeah. So Rev Rides is, yeah. I'm guessing you have a zero scooter. So I would check so if it's zero scooters that you're looking for because you're asking about the Rev Rides website being sold out, go to falconpev.sg.com or something. Just type in Falcon PEV. They'll have a lot of stuff for you. And also, Nathan over at Rev Rides, he's building his stuff up, and it's really hard right now because they're like selling out so quickly of all their scooters. It's really hard for them to keep stock of everything. But you can also just call them and then ask for their, ask what they, what you should do. Okay, Aaron Doak asks on YouTube, for a new scooter owner, what do you recommend for safety equipment? What kind of helmet? Okay, really good question. So safety equipment is probably the most important thing right now is wearing a helmet. It's what the whole scooter sharing market is not doing. And unfortunately, we're getting a lot of news right now about people getting injured, but even more so, someone in London just died on an electric scooter. Of course, it's the same roundabout that someone on a bicycle, I believe, died. It's just a bad roundabout. but scooter sharing market is not wearing their helmets. We all know this, right? When I was a kid, I rode a bike. I didn't wear a helmet. I didn't think I needed one. Scooters, you do need a helmet, right? So I recommend a helmet no matter what. I don't even ride to the corner without a helmet on. And the reason being is the tires. And it's two things about the tires. It's a tire size and it's a tire type, right? So when you're on the solid tire scooters, whatever, right? Those are going to slip, even just hitting the little raised up paint on the lane. If you're on a solid tire scooter, you're going to get a little wobbly just from the edge of that thing. So pneumatic tires are going to be better for safety than the solid. Second thing is the tire size, right? The bigger the tire, we're getting audio, just no video. The bigger the tire, the more safe they are, because they can hit bigger objects and you won't have your force stopped as quickly. Okay, so and when you do fall, because you're gonna fall, if you're riding in traffic, there's gonna be an Uber that's gonna cut you off. There's gonna be a car that opens their door. There's gonna be an Uber that stops in the road, and the rider, the passenger, is gonna open their door. These have happened to all of us. It happened to me. I did a somersault and landed on the bike lock thing, and it sucks. So get your helmet. That's the number one thing. What type of helmet is best? I would actually go a little better than a bicycle helmet. I would go towards ski helmet. So someone should correct me on this, but there's different classes of helmets, starting with bicycle. I believe ski is kind of next, ski, snowboard, then mountain bike, right? And with mountain bike, you start getting into the more full face protection. If you're riding a scooter kind of at any speed, but especially, if you're a risk taker, okay? Some of us are risk takers. And this is a new market, and therefore we have a lot of early adopters. Early adopters are risk takers. I'm looking at you. You know who you are. If you're more of the speed demon, and I'm in that camp, I sometimes will shoot up to 35-ish, a little bit more miles an hour. Not when there's cars next to me, but sometimes. If I were to fall, a lot of scooter owners are landing on their face. That sucks. And you're going to get your teeth through your mouth. You're going to get plastic surgery on your face. I've seen a lot of pictures. They're happening at an alarming rate. So you may want to go towards the mountain bike helmet. So I personally have my helmet over there. Here, I'll get it just because it's important to know. So this is the helmet that I use. It's a Giro, Giro helmet, and you can see it's a snowboarding helmet. There you go. It's got the little strap in the back for strapping on your goggles or whatever. But as you can see, it's pretty durable. It covers my ears too, which you can actually remove those if it's hot out. But it's going to be a little more protection than a bicycle helmet, just rated a little bit better. After that, just recommend, if you're really going for it, right, you can get gloves, because if you fall, that's what you're gonna land on. And then also, elbow pads, knee pads. If you're going off-roading, if you're doing this as an extreme sport, of course you need that stuff. If you're commuting, you're going, if you're safely riding, then just minimally make sure you're wearing the helmet. If you're at nighttime, right, get lights. Some scooters don't have lights. Yeah, there you go. Check out the Ruroc helmets for full face gear. Cool. Hey, Marco. I'm on a wave. So the other things that you need, so if you're at night and you are riding an electric scooter at night, make sure you have both front and rear lights. Front lights, we want them mounted higher than lower, right? So some are mounted just above the front tire. Some are mounted a little bit higher, and it's better to go higher, right? If you don't have it up high, get a secondary light. In the YouTube link on the video description, we have our favorite front and rear lights. The rear light, almost all scooters will have a rear light. Again, if you want to check, go on the Electric Scooter Guide comparison page. We actually tell you if it's front, rear, both, or none, and you can sort and filter by all those things. So for the rear light, unfortunately, the way scooters are made, they're on the fender, the rear fender, which is really low, right? So that's not as visible as if the scooter, if the light is mounted high. And so again, get an extra backlight. I mean, we recommend the one that's like $30, I think, on Amazon. Just get that. It's rechargeable. You put it in. So this is what you do. You clip it on right here on your helmet, or if you're wearing a backpack, just put it at the top of your backpack, and you can just clip the darn thing right on, and then turn that thing on at night. You can also get the yellow safety vest, which I carry with me. So when I ride at night, wintertime, wear that yellow safety vest, especially, well, depends on where you live. In Berkeley, we have street lights that basically are glorified night lights, and they don't work. So people are getting hit left and right, and on a scooter, yeah. Okay, next question. Savage FPV on YouTube. Oh boy, this is a long question. Hi, so I have an ST2060 dual strong Ninebot IS7. There is a lot of the throttle trigger that is dead space before it kicks in. Any idea what that may be? Also in dual motor mode, it seems that the front motor has very little granulation and is either, almost full or not. Strange. Okay, so this is a question about the throttle, right? And so the way throttles kind of work now, some are better than others, but they're not a linear, there's no linearness to the throttle, okay? It's more of like a digital stepwise increase in how much power you're getting. And usually scooters have like, it's hard to know when you're riding because you got to be really sensitive to it. But usually there's like 2 or 3 steps. There's like kind of low, medium, high, or maybe just low and high. And that's pretty common on most scooters. So the Ninebot, I believe, use the same kind of trigger that like so many scooters use. It's just how it is. I've not ridden the Ninebot. We've reached out to Ninebot. They are newly increasing their level of support here in the United States. They're on Amazon. They did respond. I'll have to check on the little deal there. It shows how long it took them to respond. They did respond. I think it was like 150 hours or something like that. But it's on the spreadsheet that I just threw up there. So that is a so that's what's going on. I think it's pretty normal. That's how scooters are, especially I think that model is like a real powerful dual motor one, and that's just kind of how it is, right? Like if you're in dual motor mode on any of these extreme scooters, you gotta be super careful. Now most of them respond right away to that trigger. Other ones you gotta pull down harder. So with this scooter, right, this is why support is so important. We don't really specialize in tech support, right? We kind of specialize more in buying and like what is the right scooter. But actually fixing things and stuff like that, you want to contact the person that you bought it from, because they should be giving you the support. And to Savage FPV, let us know who you bought it from and let us know how well they did with their support so that we can kind of catalog all that stuff and make sure that other folks out there are getting good support too. Okay, next question. Shiham Anjari. Cool, that's a cool name. I'm probably saying it really incorrectly. On YouTube asks, what's the best scooter between 400 and 600 euros? I think that's the euro symbol. So 400 to 600 euros. So in dollars, I have to look that up. I think it's probably like $500 to $700 is my guess. In Europe, you can get the Xiaomi M365 Pro. I would right now, I would say for scooters that have been tried and true and tested, I would say that's probably the best one. You can't get everything in Europe. If you're in London, you're probably in the pound system, and then you can go through Pure scooters, which they're pretty good. Also, check out some of the Joyor scooters. If you look at our best of on our website, hey VNWW. So if you check out the best of on our website, you can go to like best under 600, best under 900, things like that. Check out the Joyors that are in that price range. I think it's the Y10. I have to check. But we'll list the ones that we really like in that range. But basically, At the low end, look at the Xiaomi M365. It's good. That's what we like. You can also look at the E2 or E-TWOW scooters because they're a solid tire scooter, and that's really the big downside, but they're highly portable. They're small. They have a huge power to rate ratio. They're very durable. And the folks that make it here be used scooters. Zoom also are making them here. That's a Zoom Strider, but you might be able to find someone else that makes that particular scooter, which they're pretty good. And then really, I think right around a little over 700, look for the 08. Horizon is not sold in outside of the US, Canada, and Mexico right now, but the 08 is. And the 08 is a fantastic scooter. It does have the solid back tire, which I don't 100% like, but it's a pneumatic front. Everything else about that scooter is great. It's a little racer. It goes fast. It goes forever. It folds small. And at 42 pounds, I believe, I can pick it up no problem and take it upstairs. So if the weight's okay for you and you don't mind that kind of solid back tire, I like the scooter quite a bit. Okay, next question. Malt Shake Animations asks on YouTube, hey, happy face, what scooter is that in the background? Okay, let me just get to this scooter in the background. So this scooter is the Horizon scooter. That's what we're showing today. So the Horizon, so Fluid Freeride made, I'm gonna get down lower here. Fluid Freeride made a few new scooters. Their new line just came out. They just got back from checking all these out in China. We got their whole line in a couple weeks ago, which is from low to high, the Mosquito, which we're gonna do probably next, the Horizon, which is this one. Then you got the Wide Wheel, which is very good. And then you got the Cabo Wolf Warrior. So this behind me is the Horizon. I promised I was going to talk about this scooter. There's a couple of versions. We got the one with the larger battery as opposed to smaller battery, just because, why not? I think it's what are the prices on this thing? I have it on here somewhere. It's actually $750 for the more beefy motor version of the scooter. It has a drum brake in the rear. I have some notes about what I want to talk about on this guy. So it's $750 if you're in the US. I love the scooter. I think it is really the next kind of best scooter. Like, we love the Xiaomi. It kind of took over the market under $600. But what if you want to go up from there, right? Once you get to 900 plus, you start looking at some really good scooters. But what about $700 to $800, right? I think this is really the choice right now at $700 to $800, or even the lower one I think is even $720 or $650, something like that. So this is the Horizon, which is basically the 08. Okay, Zero scooters have gotten, the manufacturer is making them for a lot of people out there, and it is, it's the 08's a fantastic scooter. Of course, this is the same. This is basically the same as that. Same body and everything. It's 42 pounds. It's extremely portable. This the handlebars actually they're low right now. They go way, way, way up. They collapse. Then they also fold down onto the stem right here. You can't see that on YouTube. And then this also folds right to here. And then you pick it up by the stem. The stem locks. It pops right in here. It locks in real tight. So it's super portable. It's great for taking on public transportation, fitting in the back of an Uber or whatever. I've ridden this extensively for the last few weeks. I got up to about 24 miles per hour. It's got a 500 watt nominal motor, so it's gonna get up hills decently. I think it got 15 or so seconds on the hill climb test. It's about 2 times faster than the Xiaomi M365. I'm gonna restart the YouTube video here. It's about so 0 to 15. We got this clocked in about 4.7 seconds. The Xiaomi is about 8.2 seconds, and it should be because the Xiaomi is a 250 watt motor. It's the 500, so that totally makes sense. But right, the big story here is not only the speed and the portability, but also the range. So this is the first scooter that we've ever tested where the tested range was higher than what the manufacturer claimed. So I was riding this scooter and I was like, gosh, at 10 miles, I was down to half the charge. And it just kept going and going. And I'm like, gosh, it's going to make 15. And then boom, it starts to get to 20. And then it got to 25. And I believe it got just over 26 miles on a charge, which is ridiculous. So, I mean, it's great for sipping juice slowly. And it still was flying up the hill. So I take it up, it's about a 3.9% grade hill on our range test. And it's still going up that hill 19 miles an hour. So even at the low battery, on the higher battery, it's hitting like 21 miles an hour going up that hill, which is great. It's got a drum brake in the back, so it's not a disc brake, it's a drum brake. Again, it's all on the website, on the performance reviews, but I believe it was like 23 feet was the stopping distance, which is not bad. Disc would be a little bit, I think the Xiaomi was 22 feet, and Xiaomi is a lighter scooter and it's a disc brake, but this drum brake is good. And of course it's got dual suspension, which is great. You can see it's got 2 suspensions right in the back, and in the front, the suspension's right here. So it's a great scooter. And I think it's the choice at that $700 to $800 level. I mean, it's not 800, it's $750. You can also check out the 08 at Rev Rides, or you can check out Falcon PEV for the 08. It's basically the same thing. It doesn't have a horn, which is not great, so it loses some points for safety. But otherwise, it's a good scooter, and we're gonna do a video on it. We'll update our review on the scooter, but I think it's the choice right now for kind of the next step up from the Xiaomi M365. Okay, I think we're probably about done. Yeah, I think we're good. So thank you very much for watching, and check out the links in the video description. If you have questions, I'll answer them next week. Go to the Facebook group and make a post there. I'll try to answer it there. Other people will answer it with you. You'll get all the best information. And until next week, ride safe and wear a helmet. Bye everybody.